Do you have one to let in? Dennis.
Hasn't joined yet.
Oh,
He hasn't joined yet.
oh,
You have his number?
He said he's joining here.
Oh, he's joining. Okay.
I just talked to him like.
We unpatriotic if we don't need a pledge.
yeah, we'll be fine. Just start. Let's go.
Let's call the December 28th special called meeting of the Dalton City Council meeting to order. I think, Andrew, you're going to start it, or is Terry going to
Sure,
start
I'll
it?
just give a brief overview. There've been some edits leading up to the meeting, so I'd like to turn it over to the city attorney.
Let's see, first of all, who's on Zoom? Who's up here?
I think Councilmember Mock, and then who else, Jesse?
That's it.
Dennis is on there now? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Dennis, can you hear us?
I'm in. There he is.
Okay, thank you. So today, the city attorney is going to describe a resolution that ties in with the city's plans that began in 2020, really to start looking at a development plan for our Gateway Corridor, which includes Walnut Avenue, Market Street, and has pretty much the same overlap as TAD District Number 5. So, City Attorney Miller, I'll turn it over to you to provide an overview.
Thank you, Andrew. The resolution on the desk before you would declare temporarily.
Would you mind coming over here?
I'll be
That way we
happy
can
to.
See you.
Sure, no problem.
That way Dennis can see you too.
I won't need this. will I? Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Mayor and Council, the resolution on the desk today would declare or impose a temporary moratorium not to exceed 90 days. It would be effective at midnight today on zoning, new rezonings, land development activities, things like variances, building permits, occupancy permits, land disturbance permits. It would even cover administrative permitting like alcohol beverage licenses, except for those currently in existence. In an area that has already been designated as a redevelopment area by the city, tax allocation district number 5, the West Walnut Avenue corridor. You may have that available to you, the map. Do they have the map available?
We will circulate it.
Andrew, and by it is an area by definition geographically. And the reason is the city is in the process in the last two to 3 weeks has commenced acquiring right-of-way easements for the public transportation aspects, the streetscape aspects of this project. That's ongoing. It will continue to be ongoing for the next few days and weeks. The city is anticipating, as you know, an expenditure of somewhere up to $8 million to enhance to the highest and best use this district as a gateway corridor to move some of the traffic off West Walnut that would typically go back to Doug Gap Road. And to have a streetscape design using TAD as a basis for improvement, hopefully lifting the property values of every property owner and creating jobs and enhancing. This is a gateway corridor. People's first impression of the city off I-75 as they come into town. So it's a significant project. There are other things ongoing. It will involve some design and facade standards, some perhaps overlapping into a custom zoning. And these will take a few weeks to follow the zoning procedures, law, and process. But intensively, the planning people under Andrew's leadership will be working on all of these things, and I think you feel like we can accomplish what we need to do. The concept of moratorium is important. It's part of a city's police power. The state recognizes that power as long as it is used reasonably and it is not oppressive. So we've attempted to make it very narrow in scope in terms of time. We've attempted in your findings of fact, if you look at all those whereas clauses, to lay out the reasons for it, the finding that we don't think it'll deny property owners economically viable use of their property or diminish any values, but we do give a trigger mechanism in the resolution if a landowner or occupant under a long-term lease feels like this 90-day moratorium is going to have a significant depression of some property value, they can, in writing, come to the council through the administrator, set that out. There's no form for it, just simply explain. And if they're willing to operate within the guidelines that are being developed for facade, design, access, right-of-way, an exception may be granted in any of these areas. It's a trigger mechanism to avoid some unanticipated problem for a private landowner. I think right now we don't anticipate any, looking at the maps, but you never know in a situation like this till you get into it. So I can go through it line by line. You've probably had it through Muni Code and had an opportunity to read it. I'll be happy to answer any questions legally and Andrew factually that you have.
Dennis?
I don't have any questions. I like the way it's laid out so that we do have some measures in place in case we do have any unforeseen consequences, but I'm all in favor of it.
I think that the most important thing about this is that exit out there for 55 years or whatever, never had a plan, has no plan. And I think we've seen the results of never having a plan out there. This is the first steps of coming up with a development plan that I think will enhance and benefit Daltonians for a long time to come. But, any questions for Terry? No? There a motion on this?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mock, second by Ms. Harden. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Also, before we close, I'd like to, Mike, express my appreciation of what y'all did on Christmas Day with those two sisters. You certainly made a very Merry Christmas for them and their family. Y'all doing that, going way beyond the call. People don't realize how beneficial it is to live in Dalton, Georgia with the great city employees that we have. Your motion that we adjourn?
So move.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.
I don't know. I got a dry throat.